Yeah, that's the alchemist philosophy, right? Which is that you travel the whole world and then you come back home and realize that everything you need is right in front of you. And
But firstly, you must travel all around the world.
yeah, yeah, and it's not.
Yeah, firstly, you have to know and find and recognize this level.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, why do you want to go somewhere? Because my knowledge is not complete.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Your knowledge of this flat reality is not complete.
Yes, there are questions I have, and I don't have the answers to those questions.
Mhm.
And in order to progress, it's necessary for me to have some kind of answers to those questions. And those questions are the essence of what is a self-test, right? It's where can I go? What can I do? How can I contribute? What can I learn? What's going on? And I'm not going to get those answers, which I I guess the hope is that they bring some kind of peace of mind. I mean, there's no guarantee, but I mean, I guess you
There is absolutely no guarantee for anything.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so we make these choices with what we call good intentions. It's it's the possibility. It's the perspective, and I think that there's this there's part of a key element which is a balance of things. You need to know what you're good at, what you're not good at. You need communities of people around about you. You need interaction and and connection. There's no reason why you can't be happier here than anywhere else. But if, the same point, there's no reason why you can't be happier anywhere else than you are here. So I think we all understand that life's what you make it, right? It's there are people with no arms and no legs that are happy, right? And because they choose to have experiences and choose to focus on the positive and they choose to be happy with that. And so it's not this idea that that it's not this idea that happiness is somewhere else. I mean that's we all know that that's ridiculous to think that there's planet happy out there somewhere and we can all go and arrive on planet happy. Um, but what we do need to think about is deeper things like purpose and contribution. And I'm the kind of person who can't live feeling satisfied if I'm not sure that there's not something better that I could be doing. This sort of constant improvement, and this is what this this is part of what drives people and humanity to do stupid things, right? Build faster cars and bigger rockets. I mean, it's kind of stupid, right? Um, but it's a sense of exploring what 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 is out there, and maybe we explore what is out there, and maybe we return home, and that's what happens to most explorers, right? Most explorers, they're hacking their way through the jungle, or sailing down rivers or climbing mountains, but at the end of the day they go back home. And they choose somewhere to live, and they have to live sort of happily within that environment. So uh, that's that's the journey. That's the journey. And Okay. Here's the philosophy. The philosophy is that there is no crazy. There is just not enough information. Because what is, in essence, crazy from the outside? Why do you keep climbing the same mountain? When you get more information, crazy disappears and reasons start to appear. Now, the two greatest drivers, if we ignore the principles of love and fear, the two greatest drivers are the fact that we're moving away from something or moving towards something. So, the addiction could be the mountain. The addiction could be the adrenaline. The addiction could be the danger. Or maybe he just gets pissed off and angry with his friends every 6 months and needs a break, right? And the best way to have a break is go and climb a mountain. That
Yeah, I know.
when you have more information, the crazy becomes sane or logical. There's a correlation between happiness and stability and unhappiness and instability.
Happiness. I try to replace the word happiness with satisfaction.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. You can replace it with satisfaction, you can replace it with intention, you can replace it with purpose. There are a lot of different ways to look at it. But people who are relatively happy or satisfied tend not to change too much. And those who are unsatisfied tend to want to change things around about them. Now, it doesn't mean that someone, because you want to change something. Let's look at it from my perspective. Because you want to change something, it doesn't mean that you're unhappy, but it does mean that you're growing, and that you realize that your needs are changing. And if you don't change the things around about you, you will end up in a situation where you're not happy. The same way that if you don't pay your bills every month, right, you're gonna, you're gonna end up with a problem. Whether you like paying them or not is kind of irrelevant, because if you don't pay them, you're gonna have a problem. So.
But the difference is between growing and growing.
Mhm.
Uh, let's take an athlete.
Sorry, what?
Athletics.
Okay, athletics. Okay, athlete. Okay. With one possible exception,
Yeah.
that you don't have enough information about the athlete to process whether or not what they are doing is crazy, or if there's something that you don't know, that perhaps they know that they can build a good standard of living from doing that crazy activity. Perhaps they have some health problem that requires that they stay super physically fit. Perhaps they come from a family and a community where this is considered normal, and they can build a lifestyle around it. So the key point is that the key point is that addiction has logic when we have more information. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that with more information.
I understand.
Yeah. All addictions are attempts to bury the self. That's what they are. All addictions are attempts to not focus on who you are, because you waste time on either repeating an activity or doing, the classic form of addiction is collecting things, right?
They play the role.
Yeah, addiction repetition, habit, compulsion.
Of course.
They're 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 all related to each other, and you
Yeah, to stay on the same place and to go regularly to the work for 50 years, it's from this perspective again craziness.
yeah.
Maybe.
I think it's also important to understand that the habits are not things we lose; they're just things that we replace. So we always change one set of habits for another set of habits.
But the problem is when something is uh, too much distraction.
If you begin to feel that you can't change anything, that's also negative, right? So it's if you begin to feel that this is it, then this is all there will ever be. Whoa, I mean
Yeah,
that's another problem.
the, the truth is that everyone needs individual amount of time for shift.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, some people feel not stable in stable environments. Some people feel um, stable in unstable environments, and when we understand that everyone is different, it's like, oh, okay, well, but then of course, yes, there are certain common things that connect everybody. Yeah, yeah, okay. Um, Let me give you an example. You'll like this. I know you'll like this example. So there's um there's a new application for phones which it's called Anchor, and what it does is allows you to connect with anybody anywhere in the world and communicate with them about anything, right? I've been using it for the last couple of weeks. Um, you just put in a topic, and it finds other people in the world who are interested in that topic, and you click a button, and it connects you, and you talk
Mhm.
about the topic. So I did good stuff, um, and then it takes you. You have a time limit. There's a 50 minutes, and then it takes your conversation and puts your conversation online for people about that topic. It's really interesting. And so I talked with somebody in India about. I think they wanted to talk about ethnic minorities. Okay, I'll talk about ethnic minority. Click, and you don't know who it is. It just says topic, and it connects you with somebody. And hello, can you tell me where you are? And it's, okay, I'm in Slovakia. Well, I'm in India. Okay, right. Okay. Seriously, and you can. I put this conversation on my YouTube page. You can hear it. It's there, and this person is blah 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 blah. All these problems for
This is
minorities. So I was. This person was like, oh, ethnic minorities have all these problems, and yeah, blah 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 blah, and we don't have this, and we're not represented, and these people can't help us, and we don't have anything, and blah 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 blah. So he talks for like 5 minutes, yeah, and then he stops, and I'm thinking, and I said, so like a minority is like there's not many of you. There's a small group, and there's a lot more of everyone else and every other idea and culture than you, right? So you're kind of like this small little thing, and there's like this big group, right? And it's like, yeah. I said, okay, right. Well, I'm Scottish, and I live in Slovakia. I have lived in Slovakia for almost 20 years, and I think that there's probably about 10 Scottish people who have lived in Slovakia for 20 years. There might be more, but I'm guessing maximum 20, right? Maybe 10. 10, right? So Slovakia has, I don't know, between 5 and 6 million people. And I'm one of a group of 10. Am I a minority? Yes. Okay. Am I from a different
point of view, yes.
Am I from a different culture? Yes. Did I come here do I speak a different language? Yes. Are the habits different? Yes. Are the religions different? Yes. Is the food different? Yes. Are the hobbies that people have different? Yes. So, why is it that I do not feel like a minority?
Why? Good question.
Right? Why is it that I do not feel like a minority? Because according to you, I should be categorized as a minority. I should have all these problems. I'll tell you why I'm not a minority. I'm not a minority because I don't want to be
Yes.
a minority.
Yes.
I'm not a minority because I choose to take all my differences as positives rather than negatives. I choose to take all my differences and say, that makes me special. That makes me unique. That gives me an advantage that no one else can have. I have experiences that no one else can have. I have a situation that other people can't even comprehend. And so I use that as an advantage. Now you tell me why being a minority is bad. I said it's only bad if you want it to be bad. If you decide that being a minority group is negative, then okay, because I'm going to tell you that crazy shit is true. Less is more. If you've got a classroom with, and I do this with my younger students, you've got a classroom with 20 students, and you've got 18 boys and 2 girls. Do you think those girls are thinking, oh, I'm a minority, it's terrible? They're not thinking that at all. They're thinking, look at the power I've got, because there's only, because all of these guys have to choose to communicate with us, and there's only 2 of us, and we can use that to our advantage. So all of this talk that I hear about the problems for minorities, look, there's always something bigger, there's always something better, there's always somebody with more than you. But the only reason why you're in the position that you're in is because you choose to be there. And you can choose to not be there. And that is that. And it's just like the silence at the other end, right? And the person is like, I said, don't talk to me about being a minority. I said, you don't even know. I said, I bet you there's about 500,000 of you in your minority, right? There's probably 500,000 and you call yourself a minority. I said, that's a joke. That's funny, right? You just tell yourselves that to make yourselves feel better rather than get out and do something. So that, this perspective of there's a lot to be learned from accepting life being what it is and looking at the information that exists and taking the positive information and using that, and taking the negative information and using that. Because the arrow that tells you to go that way is also telling you not to go that way. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. Yes, that's it. That's it. That's all it is, right? All it is just information. All that exists is information. And how you choose to interpret that information defines the quality of your life. That's the way that it works. And you can take it any way that you want to take it, right? You can lose the game and feel sorry for yourself, or you can lose the game and you think I tried hard. That's okay, right? It doesn't matter as long as you use it to build a better you. It doesn't matter what the result of the situation is as long as you use it to build a better self. And that's, I think, what we have to do with the information, right? I mean, and here's the next crazy example. Like how many, like take some stupid example like sports, right? how many teams can win the NBA championship? One. But how many successful lives are built from the existence of the NBA championship? Hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands of people's lives are built from the very existence of that championship. The players, the coaches, the cleaners who clean the stadiums, yeah, only one team will win at the end of the season, but hundreds of thousands of quality lives are built from the very existence of that thing. So yes, sports can be dumbed down and be very stupid, but it's not stupid. But it's not stupid to build a quality life from that. So when we're looking at, the previous example of why does the athlete do this? Yeah. Yeah, well, if you can build a quality life from doing that, then do it. Go and build a quality life from it. It doesn't really it doesn't really matter.